Hey there. It sounds like you have some great ideas on what you want to do to interpret this piece and what dynamics you want to use, which is really, really exciting. Let's take a look at some technical things that are going to help you get there, okay? So let's talk a little bit about fingering and posture first. So it looks like your wrists did fall a bit through the piece. So make sure that they are lifted slightly and that you have the feeling of the balloon in the palm of your hand. So remember, you want to play with the tips of your fingers and avoid flattening them out on the keys. So you want to play like that with the tip of your finger instead of flattening them out, which also kind of gives a little bit of a clunky sound, and you're able to make a smoother sound and an easier time of it with the tips of your fingers. If you're playing with flattened fingers, you run the risk of hitting two notes or moving up to the wrong note. This can also cause some tension that if you play with the flat side of your finger like that, it can cause injuries if you do that long term. Also remember that you want to keep your fingers in contact with the keys at all times instead of lifting them, which can also cause tension if you go on. So you want to make sure that you've got your fingers in contact with the keys at all times and that you're not lifting them as you're playing, because that will also make for a more choppy sound like that, okay? So let's talk about your left hand and the position that you want to have your left hand in and the fingering for that. So if you place your left thumb on A and your pinky on D, that hand position is going to make it easier for you to find those notes. So at the beginning, you're just going right down 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, instead of moving your hand around, losing track of exactly where the keys are in relationship with your fingers. So let's talk about your right hand right now. So when you're playing, you've got the 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. You can keep that thumb on E and play F with your second finger to keep the fingering smoother, and simply stretch your pinky up to the D. But if the way that you are playing it currently by moving your thumb over to F feels more comfortable for your hand and feels like it causes less tension, that's fine, so long as you're able to play the piece smoothly as a whole. So let's talk about tempo now. It sounds like you have a great start on learning the notes. For now, let's practice very slowly through the whole piece and see if you can keep it all at that same tempo. Once you can play all the notes accurately at that tempo, slowly increase your speed just a little bit, and increase your speed little by little, gradually, until you're up to tempo. A really great rule of thumb before moving on with your tempo or on to the next section is if you can play it correctly 3 times in a row, you can move forward. This is an example of how slowly I want you to take this right now at the beginning, okay? You're doing really well so far, and I believe that you are close to getting this section down well enough where we will be able to add the next section really, really soon. So keep up the great work.